I got to record one more video. The night that I got arrested by the police when I was at the 7-Eleven in Fort Myers, Florida, they pulled up to a car that was at a gas pump, but the car was running. And they asked me if I was driving. And I told them that it was somebody else driving. It wasn't me that was driving. And this one lady came and walked up and said I was driving. It was me. And, um, yo, that wasn't true. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't true at all. When the firefighters pulled up and the police pulled up, that lady walked away. I didn't know that lady, yo. She was just trying to help me out. She had just left from the club. I didn't know that lady. You know what I'm saying? I tried to make it look good for the court and all of that, but I didn't know that lady. Just want to make that clear, yo. And they basically took me to jail because I refused to take the breathalyzer. And they said that I was swerving the lanes or something like that. And I'm like, how you, I was like, how you gonna say I was doing anything if you just pulled up in the gas station? So I don't know, like, what took place or what happened. I don't know, like, and it was easy. All they had to do was get the camera footage. They would have saw what happened, but, you know, I talked about this one lady that I saw crash her car one day, and she drove across MLK. She was driving down Fowler Street. She drove across MLK, drove on the other side of the street, drove into the parking lot of the auto parts store, hit a white car. The white car that she hit was parked in the parking lot. It looked like the company car or something. Hit a white car. The car flew in the sky, hit the power lines, came down and landed on its tires. And then her car also flipped and she got ejected from her driver window. I pulled up in the parking lot trying to see if everybody is okay. And over to my peripheral vision, while I'm kneeled down looking, I see some lady walking around with blood all on her face. She got glass all in her hair. Her head is cut up, her scalp cut up, and she got blood on her face. She ain't got no shoes on, and she's singing and humming to herself because she's in shock. That lady was doing at least 100 miles an hour. I was at a red light. On MLK. She went across Fowler, crossed MLK. On the other side of Fowler, it was basically two cars that was at a red light that was parked right behind each other like these. Like say these is two cars. She drove across MLK and went directly in between those two cars that was at a red light, perfectly in between them, and then drove into the parking lot. Hit a white car that was in the parking lot, and the white car did a flip like this and landed on its tires. Her car, after it hit that white car, did like this. And she got ejected from her driver car window. So then I jumped over in the left lane. I'm on MLK, and then I did a U-turn because it's like a little island right over there on MLK and Fowler. I jumped in the left lane, turned around, did a U-turn, and then made a right turn into the parking lot at the auto parts store, yo. And I pulled up in the parking lot, got out the car, ran over to the car. Her car was balled the fuck up. Her car was ruined, and it was sitting in the grass. Sitting in the grass, yo. She got ejected from her car and thrown in the grass. The white car that she hit went in the sky, hit the power lines, came down, and the power lines was under the car, and it landed on its tires. Some white car that was parked in the parking lot, looked like a company car or something. This was either at AutoZone, Advanced Auto Parts, or O'Reilly Auto Parts. It was one of them auto parts type of stores. And I'm looking in the car like this, trying to see if there's anybody in there. I'm on the phone with 911, trying to get in touch with 911, trying to get on the phone with 911. And then to the left of me, I see some lady just walking, humming to herself, singing to herself. This lady got glass all in her hair. She got curly hair. She light skinned, and she humming and singing to herself. And then she basically started falling all out on the car. And then she was sitting down. Then she stood back up, and she's still singing to herself. And I'm on the phone with the people on 911 like, yo, I don't know, like, they're like counting every time she breathed. I was counting every time she breathed. She was good, really. You could not even make out what was on the inside of that car, yo. The airbags had bust, and the back seat had fire in it. I remember this. It was fire in the back seat. When the firefighters and the police pulled up, they asked who was driving. And I'm like, it was her. I nodded my head I'm like, hey, it was her right there. And the firefighter looked at her like, ain't no fucking way. He looked at her like, I still remember that. The firefighter looked at her like, ain't no way. And then they basically got a light in her face. They got a flashlight in her face, like, follow my eyes, follow the light, follow the light. They asking her questions and stuff like that. Once the firefighters and the police got there, I left. But I recorded the video. And I never uploaded that video anywhere, but somebody else must have sent it out somewhere or hacked my phone. I don't really care about who did that anymore, yo. If a family member of mine uploaded that, look, I got a horrible spiritual vibe feeling like that. It's people attacking my family and playing me for a fool. I'm not with that, yo. And it's fucked up because it's like it ain't nothing I could do about it. I'm just speaking up on it saying, look, why do people think I keep saying I'm praying the best for my family? Because if it's a lookalike, acting like my family, and they somewhere else, I'm begging that God keep them safe, healthy, and alive still. You know what I'm saying? So that lady crashed that car, yo, and I was like, that was God. Ain't no way. Because when I heard it before I saw it, I'm at a red light on MLK. I had just pulled up out of the 7-Eleven. Just pulled up out of the 7-Eleven. And when you pull up out the 7-Eleven on MLK, that's right before you get to Fowler Street, you can only go one way because it's a one-way. When you make a right turn up out of there, it's a one-way. When you make a right turn out of the front entrance part, it's a one-way up out of there, yo. Pulled up in traffic, sitting at a red light, and the car flew, was doing at least 100. Flew across MLK, riding down Fowler. And like I said, it was two cars that was like parked behind each other, like parked right behind each other at a red light. And she drove perfectly in between them cars, hit the curb, smacked into a white car that was parked in the parking lot of the auto parts store. The parked car flew in the sky, hit the power lines, came down with the power lines under the car, landed on its tires. And let's say this is her car that hit the white car. She hit the white car, the car flew in the sky, and her car did like this. And she got ejected from the driver window. So I don't know what was happening with that lady. I said before that, I think that lady was on like a suicide mission. She probably wasn't, though. She probably, ain't no telling. She probably was she could have had an asthma attack. She could have had a heart attack. She could have had a stroke. She could have had a mental breakdown or something. She could have been getting chased by somebody. You never know what happened. But the fact that I saw that car fly in the air, I heard boom, and looked to my left, and I saw two cars flying in the air. I was like, oh, them niggas dead. I didn't know who it was. I just yelled out, oh, them niggas dead. Pulled up over there, called 911, and I'm looking in the car. I'm crouched down, looking in the car, trying to see if there's anybody in the car, because you can't see shit. The car is balled up. Car looked like literally a balled up piece of metal, and I look over to my left. I see this lady out of my peripheral vision just walking. Like it's just a regular old chill ass day, you know what I'm saying? But she was in shock. She was humming and singing to herself. She was in shock. Not a single broken bone on her. That was crazy to me, yo. So I said that was God. I said the only way that girl survived. I was like, no, ain't no way. That was God, yo. If you rewind that car accident back 1,000,000 times and do it again, I guarantee you that lady wouldn't have survived. That she was doing at least 100. I think somebody tried to put something on my name and then try to make it look like I'm some fucked up ass curse to my family and make it look like my family a curse or some shit like that. This is the type of stuff that people do. who got a motive to make you look bad. They reach out to people, hack your phone, do a bunch of messed up stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then, hey, the rest is history. That girl who I said I like better with long hair. You know what I'm saying? I told her a story about how I pulled up at the liquor store one day. Let me even go back before that. I pulled up at the liquor store, right? This dude came up to me asking if I could drop him off at the Sinai Grace Hospital. Him and his cousin or homeboy or whatever. They cried all the way on the way there because some kid that got hit by a car. And I remember seeing yellow tape earlier that day, and I dropped some old lady off earlier that day, and she was telling me that it was she heard some drunk lady or something had hit a kid or something like that. Before that, I had told my mom I think somebody had got shot because I see yellow tape down there on West Chicago and Greenfield area. And later on found out, no, some kid that got hit. Then I went to go hung out with this girl that was off of 96 and Telegraph at those apartments, and she told me she think that was her ex-boyfriend, family member. She called him up, and he said, yeah, we fucked up right now. I still remember that. Sure enough, that was them. If somebody tried to throw something like that on my name, that means everybody is in on it. Ain't no way, yo. I ain't even go think that into existence right there, because that'll make me mad as fuck. And ain't no way somebody could throw that something like that on my name. It's humanly impossible, yo. Because I heard that it was some lady, I think some drunk lady that hit that little kid or something like that. And I think they had already covered it. I think they had already charged the person for doing something like that. I spoke on another time when I was about to go hang out with this one girl that was from Dexter. And I saw this lady get smacked by a van that was walking on the sidewalk. This dude jumped on the sidewalk and hit this lady that was walking on the sidewalk, yo. In a van. And the police was driving right behind this dude. And they wasn't even bothering anybody. They weren't even trying to pull anybody over. They just so happened to be driving behind him when he did that shit. And he hit this lady. The lady that was walking with her was yelling, oh my God, oh my God. And he made a left right after that. He basically tried to hurry up and make a left off the street, and the police pulled him over. And he was like, hey, man, what happened? And they started cussing him out. What the fuck you mean, what happened? You don't see what the fuck you just did? They immediately put that man in the back of the squad car. That was the first thing they did. And then her whole family pulled up out there. Her son was trying to fight that dude that was basically in the back of the squad car, the police car. I was trying to calm her son down because they was saying that they was about to put him in jail if he kept on trying to fight the dude that they put in the back of the car, because you can't be trying to fight the dude that's like basically, arrested and shit like that. I remember all of this. But again, that's on the dash cam of the police. That's on their dash cam. There's no way that somebody could throw something that fucked up on my name. I'm going to speak on this one last time, yo. In 2008, around the springtime, I pulled up around the Tiffany Square in Wakefield Apartments where T stayed at, and also this dude named Marcellus Sabry stayed at. T stayed, it was an apartment, and it was two different sections. Tiffany Square was on the right side. Wakefield was on the left side. And I pulled up on Marcellus Sabry first. I bust a right, and Marcellus Sabry out there basically arguing with his dad. I didn't know that he fought his dad. I didn't know they got into a fight. I just saw him out there arguing, so I was just basically trying to keep the peace. The police pulled up. Sel gave me his weed and some money. He was like, man, take this, man, take this. You know what I'm saying? They're like, it's weed, it's money, whatever. So the police hopped out the car because the police pulled up, and they was like, don't move. The police had a K9 in the back of his car and everything. They was like, don't move. They gave me a ticket for possession of marijuana, and then they basically took Marcellus Sabry to jail because he got to a fight with his pops, and he basically tried to set the bottom of the apartment on fire. Then he also he got hit with felony probation because he had like a bunch of like scales and shit in this apartment. So that's how I got put on probation. When I went off to Baker College in Owasso, Michigan, the reason why that my probation didn't even get notified, my probation officer, Ms. Turner, didn't even get notified about me violating probation and stuff like that and getting drunk and all of that, is because they walked into that room and made me take a breathalyzer. They pulled me out the bed and made me take a breathalyzer. They walked in the room and pulled me out the bed and told me to take a breathalyzer while I was asleep. My roommate was this dude named Blue, the skinny white dude named Blue. He let them in. That wasn't his real name, but that was his nickname. I don't remember his real name. So that was how I ended up getting kicked out of Baker College, but I violated probation in 2009 because I was just about to get our probation and Miss Turner told me to go take a drug test. I hit up an old childhood friend of mine, Marv. He had a little brother that didn't smoke. And I told him to piss in the condom for me. And I went into this place called Jams that was on 7 Mile and Myers. And I tried to pull out the condom and like put it into the cup. And when I tried to bust it open with like a toothpick, it bust everywhere. And I just said, fuck it. That shit was disgusting. I was like, fuck it. And I just pissed in the cup. I was like, fuck it, man. If I violate, I violate. And sure enough, I violated. And after I violated, Miss Turner put me on a more strict probationary period, which means that every single day you had to call in to the drug test place. And if they gave you a specific color, and if they called your color on that exact day, you had to go take a drug test no matter what you was doing. So they called my color one day, and I'm driving down. I chose to drive down Schoolcraft, and I should have just jumped on the Southfield Freeway from Joy Road, but I'm driving down Schoolcraft. And I drive past Granville. I thought I saw somebody that I knew or recognized. So then I turned around once I got down the street around like Glastonbury area. Now this is in the springtime of 2009. I'm in my mom 2004 Cadillac CTS. I'm on my way to go take a drug test on 7 Mile and Myers at this place called Jams, Jams. You know what I'm saying? That's where we took drug tests at. And I turn around like Glastonbury or Artesia Street, and then I drive back down Schoolcraft, and then I made a right turn into the liquor store, the corner store. It was at this liquor store called Babby's. And when I made a right turn over to the liquor store area, let's say you in the street, right? You driving down Schoolcraft. The liquor store is right here, the parking lot. I made a right turn into the parking lot. The speed limit is like 30 miles an hour. I made a right turn into the parking lot. When I made a right turn into the parking lot, it was somebody that was a little bit further behind me, and they was all on the fucking sidewalk doing at least 100 miles an hour. So when I made a right turn into the parking lot, exactly where I was supposed to at, somebody smacked into me and knocked the car back into the street. The glass was in the parking lot, but the car was in the street. And this dude was in a truck. This dude was drunk. He was driving his sister's truck. He fucked her truck up. I think they even came down hard on her, even worse, because she allowed somebody to drive her car that didn't have a license at that time. So I still remember this dude Martell walking up like, "Hey, what's up, y'all? All right?" And I remember Martell telling the dude, he was like, "Man, it looked like you hit him though." He was talking to the dude, talking about how he hit me, because the dude was drunk and he was trying to say it was my fault. And I'm like, "No, man, you hit me." Even Martell was like, "Yeah, it looked like you hit him, man, because your car over here all the way on the sidewalk, he looked like he was turning into the parking lot where he was supposed to be at." But they basically like that store that store got like refurnished and stuff, and renovated and stuff, like readjusted and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, probably in like 2018 or 2017 or something like that. But when you're driving down Schoolcraft, it's a little drive-in, a little drive-through area you could drive into the parking lot at. As soon as I made a right turn, that dude smacked it to me and knocked me back into the street. Then I called my probation officer and said, "I just got into a car accident. I'm not going to be able to take a drug test today." The very next day, I went and took a drug test. And she didn't violate me for that. That was really her looking out. But when I went to court, for the probation violation, the lady put me in jail for 3 days. Even though I completed the violation, but I dropped dirty. When she originally put me on probation for that whole year, because I got the punishment was a year of probation, Marcella Sabria came with me into the 46th District Court, yo, because I pulled up on him and told him to come with me. And I remember the judge, Miss Johnson, was like, "Point out your friends now. Where's your friends at now?" And I had pointed at Marcella Sabria. I pointed at Sel. Like, shit, he right there. He had came to court and actually admitted that it was his weed, and I still got put on probation for a year. I just took it as tough love though. But I ended up dropping dirty, yo. The second time I crashed my mom's car, it was 100% my fault, yo. I went to an after-hour spot on Joy Road in Southfield. This is in like January 2011. I with my brother Scooter. I'm at an after-hour spot on Joy Road in Southfield. His ex-girlfriend Crystal used to go into that spot. That's how he was a little familiar with it. And this light-skinned chick started twerking in front of me and my brother. So they basically gave him the cold shoulder and me the cold shoulder because they was telling that nigga like to get them some drinks and this and that and this and that. So my brother ended up leaving. Me and him left. I ended up going back. You know what I'm saying? I'm drunk. I went back. And when I came back, those girls was acting completely different. You know what I'm saying? And there was a bunch of niggas in that spot mean mugging me. So I left. A blizzard started happening. A blizzard, it started snowing real bad. I'm on Joy Road in Southfield, right? So then I took, I think I took Evergreen to Schoolcraft and Granville again. I pulled up on Granville and Linden, where this dude named Marv stayed at. Knocked on his window. I was like, hey, bro, let me hold $5 right quick. I just wanted to put some gas in my mom's tank because I ain't want shit to be all that bad and fucked up. That nigga told me he didn't have it. So then I drove down Granville and Linden. I drove past Linden. I drove past Eaton. I drove past Chalfont. I got to Finkel. I made a right turn on Finkel from Granville, and I drove down Finkel. By the time I got around like Artesia or Glastonbury, I was going toward the Southfield Freeway. By the time I got around like Artesia or Glastonbury or something like that, or I think it was like Glastonbury, I lost control because it was a blizzard outside. And I wasn't even going that fast. I was doing like 35, 40, but you know, you can't be going that fast in the blizzard, especially when you in the car with got four-wheel drive. I was in that Cadillac, that 04 Cadillac CTS. I lost control, hit a tree. The bumper came off. I grabbed the bumper, put it in the car. The police was out there also, but they saw me putting the bumper in the car, but they didn't see the accident. I think they were just making sure that they could have pulled me over and it could have made things way worse, and they didn't. And then I went driving down Finkel. Again, I lost control again once I got around like where Finkel and Grand River and Southfield touch. And the car basically spun across the street, and it was about to smack into a wall. The only reason why I didn't hit a wall is because I hit this pole that stopped the car. That was why the back passenger side had a real big dent in it. And that was it. When I got back to the crib on West Chicago and Terry Street, I made up a lie and just said, hey, you know, somebody pulled out a gun on me and stuff like that. I got into it. But the truth was, no, yo, I was trying to drive fast in the blizzard and I lost control. It wasn't just a small blizzard. It was already at least I was driving in at least 5 inches of snow. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't even started yet. So I think niggas in my old neighborhood made up some lie about, you know, how I dropped dirty or how I violated probation back in the day, whatever. And again, my probation officer, when I had one, she was never notified that I had even got an alcohol violation at Baker College in Owasso. So I think a lot of lies been told on me about like the car accidents that I've been in the past and stuff like that. A lot of people made up lies about me, yo. I was in LA at the 7-Eleven. I think this was on the 15th of September. It was that same day I held that door before that one lady that cussed me out when she walked in the 7-Eleven. As soon as I walked up out of there, I saw somebody crash their car like right down the street from me. And it was some dude in the Charger. And I just said, oh, damn. And then I saw some little youngins out there. I was like, hey, whenever y'all do get a fast car, just always remember you ain't got to always drive it like it's a fast car. Just remember that. It was some teenagers out there. I guarantee that somebody around there is trying to make it look like that's God right there. That's God. Everywhere he go, a car accident happen. That's God. But people don't know. What people that's off into the secret society shit, man, it's nothing for somebody to basically pay somebody and say, hey, do this right here. We're going to make it look like this man is a walking piece of bad luck. I'm not saying that somebody paid that situation to happen. Somebody paid somebody to do that. But when you actually get in tune with God for real, and God start revealing you what's really going on in this world, a lot of that shit is very, very, very common amongst people who be trying to stage sceneries and make up a lot of lies and to try to make you look bad, Joe. For real. So I'm not gonna lie to myself, because there's been times in the past where I was just thinking maybe it's just all in my mind. And what I don't understand more than anything else is, how did I go through all that crazy shit and everybody just sat back and watched? Like, everybody. Is it this many people in bondage, yo? Is it this many people that's in some type of a motherfucking like crazy ass life to where they being held against their own will and they can't say nothing, they can't speak up? How do I be in a fucking shelter for 11 months and got people hacking my phone all day, listening to everything that I'm talking about, and it's just cool? And the same exact lady who came to St. George, South Carolina on December 1st, 2022, I don't know what type of statement that lady made up about me, but that lady came and was let in by my dad. I was a tenant paying my Aunt Grace rent. And she said she just want to ask some questions. She asked me, do you ever see things or hear things nobody else see? I said, no. She said, do you ever think suicidal thoughts? I said, no. She said, do you ever think about killing other people or hurting people or harming people? I said, no. And then she got out. She walked outside, said she could call up her supervisor. She didn't call up her supervisor. She called up the judge in St. George, and then the judge signed some paper for me to basically go to Trident Hospital and get some type of evaluation done. When I got into the Trident Hospital in Charleston, they asked the same exact questions all over again. But this time they asked me, did I threaten to kill some gay man at the Walmart distribution center in Ridgeville, South Carolina on the 28th of November, 2022? I stated to those physicians that no. I said, if somebody has said that about me, that's a bold-faced lie. Because on November 28, 2022, I put in protected paid time off. I put in PPTO, and I left work around 10 o'clock in the morning. I got there around 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, and I left around 10 o'clock in the morning, and I went to Cascade Park by myself, and I just chilled there. I was over there by the Ashley River, you know what I'm saying, chilling at the park, minding my business. So I said it's illegal, and it's unfair for y'all to hear something and then just put handcuffs on me and then take me out the house and take me to Trident Hospital, because when that lady said she was going to talk to her supervisor, she walked out the house. She walked out the house on the Quaker Road where I was living at in St. George, South Carolina. Again, I was paying my Aunt Grace rent. I was a tenant there. So she shouldn't even have been able to come in. You know what I'm saying? I walked in the living room to my dad opening the door. He let her in. I was a tenant paying rent. My dad shouldn't even have came there without knocking. You know what I'm saying? He actually let her in. All of that was illegal. All of that. So when she walked outside and said she gonna call up her supervisor, another police officer pulled up, and then they said I've been ordered to go to court. To go to the Trident Hospital, and I can't drive. They gotta take me in handcuffs, and then they put me on some little roller chair thing, rolled me into the hospital, humiliated me, got me looking like I'm some little ass kid who just threw a temper tantrum in high school or something, and got to be strapped down to a damn seat. And then they told me that they had to take my blood, and if I take my blood and my urine, I think, and if I didn't give my blood up, they'll strap me to the chair and then put me in jail. So then they took my blood and then let me go, and I ended up getting billed like $1,700. What the fuck? And then after that, they said there's nothing wrong with you. So I don't know what that white lady that worked with the mobile mental health crisis did, but if she falsified a statement about me, then it makes sense why she left and relocated, because when I called out to that mobile mental crisis, they told me that she don't even work there no more. So I think she made up some lie about me. And then when she saw the damage it did, when she saw how many people was framing me and sabotaging me and hacking my damn phone, they was like, oh, okay, well, let me get about it. Let me get out the way around this. That's why I said December 1st, 2020. I went to Michigan to buy a Camry for my cousin Deshaun King. It literally looked identical to my ex-girlfriend car, Mona St. Clair. She had a 2008 Toyota Camry, but she traded it in for a Nissan Altima in the springtime of 2017. She had a gray Nissan Altima, and I bought that car for my cousin Deshaun, yo. He told me he got it from some elderly lady in Novi somewhere. So, me and my cousin Shamar and my dad drove his Lincoln Nautilus back to Michigan. You know what I'm saying? Drove my cousin Deshaun Lincoln Nautilus back to Michigan. And I visited my niece Taryn. And I also drove around like Finkel area, around where like some niggas that I was cool with, but I didn't go to their house. I just drove through there. I was about to, but I was like, fuck that, hell no. I ain't seen these niggas since 2018. I was like, nah, I ain't even about to pull up over here, and I ain't go. I just drove like down the side street, and I thought about it. I was like, nope. Went and visited my niece Taryn, went to the bank, took the money out from Bank America that was over there on Finkel and Southfield, and then went to visit my cousin Deshaun, yo. Bought that car from him and then drove it back. When I came back, my birth certificate was stolen. And my dad told me on November 30th, don't even take your gun with you when you get on the road. And I was like, why? It's my gun license. Like, I got my gun license, it's valid. Like, it's not illegal. Every state that I'm going to drive through, my gun license is valid. And I checked the list on the seat, on the permission to carry a concealed weapon list when I first got my gun license. You know what I'm saying? October 2022, I got rid of that gun. I took it to a gun store in Walterboro and traded it in for like $100 or something like that. But I think my aunt Ethel possibly like fabricated a lie. I think she probably put some suicide note next to that gun between November 30th, 2020 and December 4th, 2020 and made up a lie about me. That's why I recently had reached out to the police to see if something like that had happened, because it's some type of a hold or hindrance on my phone. So that's what made a lot of people feel like they got a lot of ammo that was at these shelters, feel like they can hack my phone and then fuck my life up, because they feel like, nigga, you don't know that we seen all your videos and you don't know that it's a block on your shit. December 2022, I got back on YouTube. I got back on Snapchat. I got back on Facebook. And then as soon as I got back on Snapchat, some girl sent me a picture of her breast. And I reported it to the child exploitation website. YouTube was smooth selling as far as, you know, it was cool. Like, I saw everything, and then out of nowhere, it just started glitching, and I could just tell that it was hacked. So whatever kind of hack people put on me, I don't even think it's legal. I just think it's a lot of people that got the same agreement amongst each other. Like, hey, that guy right there, like, talking that being close to God stuff, keep him away from his purpose in life. Figure out who, you know, God said he meant to be with, or who he trying to get in touch with, and just make things worse. That's just how I took it. I said a long time ago I could be wrong, but at this point, I'm not wrong, yo. I've been getting lied on a lot. It's 6:02 in the morning. November 12th, 2025. And I also want to say this. I just got a text message yesterday from that same exact, I don't know who this Jacquees Collins person is, but I just got a text message from that same number saying, hey, and I didn't respond. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who that is. Somebody in California. And it showed up on my, anybody who got an iPhone, right? And they be messaging people, they actual name showed up. And this person name is Haitian gal, yo. And I don't know why I got maybe like next to it. I try to look into it and see why I got maybe next to it, but that's how it shows up. Maybe Haitian gal. I don't know who that is. So for a long time now, people has been, I don't even fucking understand at this point how anybody could take what they see off of social media and then run with it. But I said this before, I said it again. If any celebrity think that they've actually been conversing back and forth with me, you know what's been happening? It's somebody around them that's playing them for a fool. It's somebody around them that's tricking them. It's that simple, yo. I've sent out YouTube links, but there's never been a conversation that took place that said, hey, what's up? Hey, ain't nothing much. What's going on? That's never happened.